What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE announces the SummerSlam location, Braun Strowman's cryptic tweet regarding his future, Roman Reigns' big demands to WWE, Lana's passionate plea for Miro, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now, our first story looks at WWE announcing the location for SummerSlam. This year's SummerSlam is coming to Las Vegas. After weeks of rumors the event was being held in Sin City, the WWE announced the location during the pre-show for the Belmont Stakes horse race. This year's biggest party of the summer is being held at the Allegiant Stadium, the home of NFL's Las Vegas Raiders. The stadium has a capacity of 72,000, and WWE.com is already encouraging fans to sign up to be notified when tickets go on sale. WWE President Nick Khan commented on the big announcement saying, "Coming out of the pandemic, it was important to us to have a big event like SummerSlam in Las Vegas. We expect to deliver a great night of sports entertainment for the people of the city and a boost in the foot of traffic for casinos and local businesses." Allegiant Stadium is fully enclosed and climate controlled, which means fans won't have to worry about passing out in the summer heat, as the average temperature for Vegas in August is as low of 66 degrees and a high of 104 degrees. However, what about the blockbuster boxing event being held that same night? Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. will square off in a much hyped and eagerly anticipated fight in Las Vegas. Some fans and wrestling analysts wonder whether the fight will affect the WWE's audience both in terms of pay-per-view numbers and ticket sales. However, a number of news sites are reporting that the WWE plans to have SummerSlam over before the fight begins. If this is accurate, the WWE needs to make sure they remind the fans of this so they don't skip the WWE in order to watch the boxing match. It would look bad if the fans didn't attend the event, and historically Las Vegas has been a soft market for WWE events. However, with rumors of WWE booking some major matches including Roman Reigns vs Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns vs John Cena, and the public's eagerness to return to live events, the WWE could make a big splash with SummerSlam. Next up, did Braun Strowman hint at his future with a tweet? Or what's next for Braun Strowman following a shock release from the WWE? Well, that's the million-dollar question, or should we say $1.2 million, as many pundits are saying Strowman was cut due to his big payday. Strowman tweeted, "If I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember me? For I must be traveling on now, cause there's too many places I've gotta see." Rock fans recognize this as part of the lyrics from the song Freebird, which has led to speculation that Strowman may be taking time off from the wrestling world to travel. However, some fans think Strowman is going to continue wrestling, but he'll only be making select appearances and he isn't going to sign with another promotion immediately. What do you think of Strowman's tweet, and what's next for the monster among men? Next up, Roman Reigns' big demands to WWE. Now, Roman Reigns is arguably the biggest superstar in WWE right now. Many can say that the whole SmackDown brand is revolved around him. And there's good reason for that, as Roman Reigns has demanded that he either be going first or last, and he doesn't want to be anywhere in the middle of the card. According to Dave Meltzer, he mentioned, "You put the most important first or last. That's the big argument right now with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns will either go first or last. He won't go anywhere else. That's a shoot. He doesn't want to go anywhere but first, because that's okay, or last, which is preferable because he's the main event and he doesn't want to go second or fourth or second from the top." What do you guys think of this demand? Should Roman go first or last? Or doesn't it matter? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a Hell in a Cell spoiler? Has a sports betting site spoiled the results for Hell in a Cell's Raw Women's Championship match between Rhea Ripley and her challenger Charlotte Flair? Well, according to a report at Ringside News, BetOnline has Ripley listed as a very strong favorite. However, as fans know, Vince McMahon's penchant for changing match results the day of the show puts this prediction in question. Next up, Aleister Black's clever secret. Speaking of hinting at the future, Strowman's fellow release superstar Aleister Black is sharing some of his WWE character's backstory, including how Aleister Black subtly predicted the future. Black posted the following message on his Instagram account saying, "If you go back to the room promos, the color of the lights were the color of my upcoming opponent's gear. I did this because I liked the idea that Aleister Black had precognitive abilities in a sense that destiny showed him a glimpse of the future. I would also use certain words or sentences that would predict my opponents for the coming weeks. I couldn't always change or influence what was said, so I used the lights to accomplish this." Black's revelations showed that he had some interesting ideas for his character, the Dutch Destroyer, but like many so other WWE superstars, the promotion failed to give him the opportunity to work on them. He even wanted to do a stable with Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor, and The Undertaker. Probably something that would have never happened, but it's an interesting concept and it shows that he was throwing everything out there for his character. Black added more to come, which means he'll have more insight into the fascinating character he'd hoped to introduce to the fans. Unfortunately, like anything in wrestling, some people aren't happy with Black pulling back the curtain on what he wanted to do with his character, feeling it somehow exposes the business. This concern seems ridiculous considering the WWE Network's many behind-the-scenes documentaries on wrestling, as well as its recent series of biographies. What do you think of Black's plan for his character? Would they have worked? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Keith Lee is optimistic. While former NXT champion Keith Lee hasn't been seen on Raw since February, the Limitless One seems optimistic that he'll get a chance to let the fans know about where he's been, so much so that he's changed his Twitter nickname to Optimistic Lee. Lee tweeted, "I wanted to do something educational, but also inspiring to tell you guys about everything since late January. Seems that is off the table for now, so with that, I will find another way to tell guys about everything. It might simply be a video of me chatting with you, we'll see." Keith Lee has so much charisma and works well for a big man, two traits that could easily lead him to becoming a main eventer. The question of why the WWE hasn't had Lee on television or why they aren't allowing him to explain his absence continues to befuddle fans. Next up, Sheamus injury update. A current US champion Sheamus suffered a broken nose on the 31st May edition of Raw during his match against Humberto Carrillo, but the champ has no plans of forfeiting the title. Wrestling's Celtic Warrior tweeted pictures of himself after the surgery with the caption, "And still, we wish Sheamus a fast and full recovery, and we're really glad that he's not forfeiting the title." And Lana's lusty message to Miro. And last but not least, now that Lana has been released from the WWE, some fans think it's just a matter of time before the ravishing Russian joins real-life husband Miro in AEW. During the 4th edition of Dynamite, Miro sent a shout-out to his beautiful bride, noting how hot she is. This led to Dave Meltzer speculating on Wrestling Observer Radio that this was a sign Miro wants Lana in AEW, which seems like a no-brainer as the couple work well together. Dave Meltzer commented, "Rusev was trying to get her in. You could tell from that promo he's trying to get her in. You know, more power to him, they had a great act." Now, regardless of whether Lana makes it to AEW, she appreciated her man's compliment. Lana fired off a tantalizing tweet to her husband along with a picture of a tank, harkening back to Miro's time in the WWE as Rusev. "Oh Miro, I saw your shout out to me on TV last. Hurry home." Now, you may recall Rusev's epic entrance at WrestleMania 31, where he came out to the ring in a tank. Reportedly, Rusev and Lana got down and dirty on top of the tank backstage, but there's no word on whether or not the couple have a tank at their home. Yikes. But there you have it, guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know in wrestling. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.